to continue our conversation on Afghanistan, and joining me now is Dr. Nipa Banerjee, Senior Fellow with the School of International Development and Center for International Policy Studies at the University of Ottawa. And also, she was the resident head of Canada's aid program in Kabul, Afghanistan from 2003 and 2006. Dr. Banerjee, thank you so much for joining me today for this important discussion.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Now, you lived and worked in Afghanistan at a very critical time. This was just after, the infamous events of 9/11, so 2003, 2006. Can you tell us how you saw the country change in that period?
Well, when we first went there, our embassy was established in 2003, and that's when I went there. And we had a very small embassy with only one administrative staff, myself as the head of aid, a political affairs officer, and our ambassador. But the work was huge because we had to start programming, establishing our contacts, and learn ourselves because we have never been in Afghanistan before. That was the first time that we had a representative office. So it was a lot of work, but it was a wonderful time for Afghanistan and thus for the international community because things were blossoming. Things were going extremely well. And, as far as development program is concerned, the Afghan government was extremely cooperative. A lot of the NGOs and international organizations were working, and things were going very well. I didn't see any changes occurring in that period, 2003 to 6, but it started deteriorating. After that time, I was still visiting Afghanistan twice a year, and I saw this deterioration and decline throughout the time, starting from about 2007-8 until now.
So even prior to Canada's withdrawal of its forces in Afghanistan, you saw deterioration already start?
Yes, I would say that I did see the deterioration start. One of the main things we aimed at was to strengthen the government, build the government institutions, and get them to get the legitimacy by earning the support of the local people.
Right.
And that was gradually deteriorating because programs were not successful and there were problems on issues with the Afghanistan government as well.
Wow. So when we see the footage coming out of Afghanistan right now, where we see the Taliban have taken control, many of us on the other side of the world think, okay, everything was, peaceful and rosy up until, a few weeks ago, and then now things have reduced to chaos. But you're suggesting that things were already kind of deteriorating. So let's dial it back for a moment. How was the Taliban perceived when you went there first in 2003 to set up with the embassy?
Actually, the Taliban was not seen at all or heard of in the beginning, up to say about 2005-6, really, you wouldn't hear about the Taliban. They had been defeated and they fled across the Tora Bora mountains and never to be seen here.
Right.
And that's the way we thought it would be. The Taliban will never return. But what our problem, as well as the Afghan government's problem, was that we did it wrong. I mean, we did not foresee the future properly. The Taliban insurgency had already started, and they were getting stronger and stronger, and that was ignored and neglected.
My goodness.
And therefore, when you say that, it only started a few weeks ago, that's not true. In fact, we came to know, maybe not immediately after 2006-7, but gradually it was deteriorating. But I would say over the last 15 years, it was quite a matter of concern that things were not going well and things were deteriorating.